Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is an end of the month for the month of January Tarot Oracle reading. And Virgo, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Virgo, we still all have a little bit of Virgo in us somewhere. If you do have your birth chart, which house is Virgo in? That's where this energy will show up for you. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. Please be aware that this is a general or collective reading, and so parts of it may or may not resonate with you. Take what works for you, leave the rest. And this is also a timely reading, which means that if you're watching this at this time, it's the perfect time for you. If it's been some time since I have posted this, what was going on in your life back then? If you take a look at that, it may give you a little bit more clarity regarding your situation. We're going to begin with the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck, and we have Judgment coming in. So the Judgment card is representing judgment coming in from both the spiritual realm and trickling down to the physical. And so this energy is talking about something has happened where there's judgment being called. There could be illegal activities, or it could just be spiritual, could be many things. So the thing to note here is that the ancestors are represented here coming out of these boxes. These boxes quite often represent the energy of skeletons coming out of the closet, opening Pandora's box, information coming out that brings justice to the ancestors and the descendants across from here. And maybe after generations, so it just depends on the situation. We have, and this is the underlying energy for the entire reading. Now, the underlying energy for the internal forces is the Knight of Swords. So the Knights would work for the King and Queen, delivering messages from near and far, and they are, like, of course, when in the old days, they would be delivering them by horse and then traveling all that way, coming and bringing back the message. So it would take a long time, but these days we have so many forms of communication. So the communication could easily be, it could be in person, but it's likely also to be a letter coming in the mail, or it could be an email, a text message, a phone call. It could be papers of some sort. This could represent, the swords represent the energy of your thought and your thoughts and your mental capacity, as well as your control over your mind. And so this particular knight is rushing in or rushing away, and it's almost like I'm getting the impression that this knight does not want to have this information come out. Like he's like, get me out of here. That's the energy I'm getting. Get me as far away from this as possible. So let's see what's going on here. What kind of skeletons do you have in your ancestral pool there? So let's go ahead and see here. Okay, so for the internal forces are the things that you have control over. So that it's, you have control over your thoughts. You don't have control over other people, but you do have control over whether you react or you respond and how you do so. The energy is also talking about the internal forces are like the what ifs. So it would be like, what if our skeletons come out of the closet? What then? What if Pandora's box has been opened? What are we going to do then? I'm getting a lot of energy, kind of energy. So let's see. We have in this position the Four of Swords. This represents your subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind being hung on the wall. So it's kind of like, we don't even want to think about it. Let's not think about it at all. Let's put our mind to rest, and let's meditate and pray. Let's pray hard. This is the stained glass window here has the word Pax on it, and the word Pax represents peace. So this is someone that's looking for peace of mind. So that's the energy that you're in. And let's see what's going on here. we have something to do with the soulmate. So the Two of Cups represents the energy of soulmates. It's saying this, that you've met your divine partner, that they're sharing a toast, and they are. This represents someone that you were destined to be with, that you could have a soul contract with, that you were planned to meet. It was destiny that you would meet this person at some point in your journey on the planet Earth. And it also can represent the masculine and feminine energies within yourself coming together in perfect harmony, and this is your higher self. So your higher self network is communicating with you at a strong time at this time. And it may be because your soulmate is about to come in, that kind of energy. When your soulmate comes in, if you manage to find each other in the world, that energy allows you to really move forward on what you were brought to Earth to do. Like what was our purpose is always to better ourselves and to become better versions of ourselves. That's our main purpose on planet Earth, and to make the Earth a better place because of it. Having said that, some people have missions that they come here and they want to accomplish. The soul wants to. And so we have the moon energy. So as we speak right now, we just have a new moon, and the new moon is in Capricorn. So the new moon right now is really, Capricorn energy is about building shift. Like it's about taking consistent steps of action towards your goals so that you have, and it's about like pentacles, about the material world. And that energy is, of all the pentacle signs, or the pentacle element, the Capricorn is the most advanced. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So, Saturn energy, it takes 28 days or 28 years, basically 27 and a half to 28 years to complete a Saturn cycle. And so quite often at the age of around 28, 29, and then again around 58-ish, that kind of age, things like a lot of shift happens for people, because it's kind of like whatever you didn't take care of in the first cycle will repeat in the second, in some sort of other version. And if you have dealt with it, but it still is lingering, you will find that you're having like small snippets of the same old energy that you want to tie up. So this energy with Capricorn can run really deep, and this new moon is representing that energy. So you may be feeling like, oh, let's get down to business kind of energy. The glyph for Capricorn energy is the goat, and the sea goat though. So it has the hind end, or the front end of a mountain goat climbing the mountain, one step at a time. And then at the same time on its hind end, it has a tail of a fish, of a dolphin actually. And so that energy is like, you can imagine trying to climb up that mountain. But if the Capricorn energy, if they fail, they just get back up and they keep going. Like they're very disciplined in that energy. And so the new moon, when the moons come out, we usually feel that energy 3 days before and 3 days after the moon more intensely. And so the new moons are a time to start new. The full moons are when you release the energy. So we had a full moon on the 3rd of January, and that was in Cancer. And now we have the new moon in Capricorn energy. The moon, at this time, what happens is the moon represents the illusions, the things that we can't see that are in the dark, and also about having some very strong emotions. And it's also talking about, like, this lobster is like, to stay on his path, he has to not be distracted and go around these pillars. He's got to go through them. That's the kind of get through the gate kind of energy. And the energy is talking about, there's a domestic dog here, and then there's a wolf or coyote, whichever you think that is. And so this is talking about staying really domestic, or are you too domestic? Or have you been a little on the wild side and you need to maybe temper down a little, that kind of energy. And you can imagine how vulnerable that journey is when you're, a shellfish getting out of the water and going on that journey. So it's saying that, you know, you have to really control your emotions to be able to successfully stay on your path and be aware of the illusions and avoid danger because of them. And then we have the King of Cups. And so the King of Cups is sitting on his throne out in the middle of the water, like, and this is rough waters. Rough waters means there's chaos around, or there's mixed, you know, volatile emotions. But the King of Cups has mastered his ability to be able to handle his emotions. And so he's the most emotionally available because of it, because he doesn't get entrenched in his emotions. He becomes engaged in them. And so this is talking about the cup is generally, quite often, could be a cup of romance, but it also could be a cup of like a gift of something that you really love to do or you love to be. And it can involve actually the love of your family and your children and that kind of energy, as well as romantic love. And so we have, okay, so there's some energy of feeling like you're in a mental prison here. And so, yeah, this is, I feel like there's a lot of overthinking going on right now, and it's something to do with this energy. I keep getting this feeling like that there's something that's been carried down the family line, that something the family's been doing that is coming out. Like the illusion has now been blown away. It's being exposed. And sometimes this is representative of the Knight of Swords, of someone rushing in with information, which could be. But it also can be regarding not wanting the information, not even wanting to hear it. And that's the energy I'm getting. He'd rather be way over here. That kind of energy. Doesn't want to be close to the judgment whatsoever. And so that's the energy we're in here. This is the Eight of Swords represents like a mental prison where you just don't know how, like you feel trapped and stuck. And perhaps for you, this information will be a really good thing. Virgo likes things lined up, you know, and clean. And so it feels like you're kind of almost entrapped in this, I don't know, it's almost like OCD-ish type energy, or things have to be perfectly in alignment for you, or it bothers you, that like it's kind of like a trap in the mind. I don't know if you've heard of Nikola Tesla. He just an absolute genius, but towards the end of his life, he became very OCD, you know, obsessively compulsive about walking around the block 3 times and, you know, washing his hands 3 times. And he just really took it to the extreme. And I feel like there's some sort of energy around that here. So this could be representing some sort of mental illness in the family, like regarding that, like someone who has like or that in the family, you know, that it's very rigid. I'm getting a rigid upbringing, that kind of energy. This also on the 3rd dimensional plane can represent, if it's judgment, it can represent prison, as well as like an actual 3D prison rather than just mental prison. Okay, so this is something to do with the Lovers, which, you know, this generally, quite often your soulmate is a love interest, because that makes it more fun. And I guess God and the universe in all their goodness realize, hey, it's more likely if you're having fun with a lover that you're going to meet, right? And that you're going to stay together if you're enjoying each other's company. So this is talking about the Lovers card is representing, you know, perhaps you've met someone and you feel, and you've become lovers now. And this is a soulmate of yours. And so that kind of energy. And see, the Lovers also represents, like when this card comes out, it feels like it could be a twin flame energy. And the twin flame energy is a little more intense. It's about almost like sharing the same soul, like the same mission, and having like a mirror effect. like this, like how the ancestors and descendants are having, but having that on a soul level, like being almost like twins. It could be, you could be apart, like you could be like 80 and you just finally met each other. But when you sit down and you start talking about your lives, it'll be like, that happened to me and that happened to me, and I had 3 and I had 2 siblings, and I had my father worked for X and X company, and my mother, she was a stay-at-home mom, and da da da. And you'll realize, hey, we had very similar experiences, and sometimes it can be from different countries or whatever. There's a tendency sometimes to even be like in the same, the same field of like that kind of energy. So I feel like this is a very intense energy here. I feel like this is more like this soulmate is more like a twin flame energy. Sometimes though, like meeting yourself like that in the mirror can be really hard. And so this cloud represents not knowing each other very well. And this is the higher self trying to navigate this. And it's talking about really needing to be very balanced in your own masculine and feminine energy to be able to handle this kind of energy. And the thing about this is it's like looking in the mirror. You'll hear a lot of identical twins will talk about this, where like it's like when their twin gets sick or something, it feels like it's them. Like you can't even imagine when you look in the mirror and you look exactly like your twin, and then you see them going through something. It's kind of like that energy. And so sometimes if that fails, there's and it can, the energy between them, then God will sometimes just send you a soulmate after that, someone that is less intense. And it's kind of like like if you keep your end of the bargain and your soul and your twin flame doesn't, it's kind of like you keep carrying on and you continue on your journey on a spiritual level, but to complete whatever it was you came to do, but you don't have their help anymore. And so then God will send in a soulmate to empower you, and it's a little bit less intense. And then the person that didn't measure up, I don't know, I guess it's just a major disappointment. It's kind of like, oh, well, I didn't complete my mission, And usually what happens is a bunch of karma hits, especially if that energy is someone that purposefully made it so that that the mission didn't because ultimately we're here on this planet through God's grace, and if it's God's plan and we're part of that plan, and if we go against God, well, you have to deal with that energy if you're brave enough to do that, so that's the kind of energy. So we'll see here, we've got the identity. This is how you see yourself, as like really feeling like you need to meditate and just chill out, because you need to know, okay, what's the next steps to take here? And, you want some peace of mind because something's very worrying. And I feel it's something about this communication coming in, and this communication is coming in fast. But like the ancestors and the descendants both, this judgment coming in, it's kind of like, it's going to not be great for it's good because the judgment means that it's going to be cleansed and it's going to be healed eventually. It could be a generational curse that's being healed, but the energy is also like it's going to be really challenging and hard, and it could be, we don't know what it is, but it's it could be something very embarrassing. And it's kind of like, even when I start talking about it, I feel like there's ancestors hanging out saying, shut up, don't talk about it. They don't want it to come out. So this is the abundance here. And this is how you see yourself, that you deserve to have that empowerment. So perhaps you've been doing your best to stay on your journey here, and it's been really challenging. And this is talking about your communication in early life. And so there were some illusions about the way you were raised. Our subconscious mind is formed by the time we're 7. And when you think about it, you don't really remember that much before you're in kindergarten, and you really probably rarely remember what happened when you were a baby. So you're relying on the people who are in charge of your care, which are your ancestors generally, to look after, you know, like to tell you, oh, you were like this when you were young and you were like that, and you know, that kind of energy. And so really, you really don't really know what happened to you when you were younger. If they lie, how are you going to know the difference? That's the kind of energy. And like, that's how some people, you know, they find out when they're like 30, hey, I'm adopted and my parents and the entire family hid this from me. And it quite often can really mess with someone's self-identity. And I feel like there could be that kind of energy here. It could also be someone who, you know, there was a lot of problems in the family and someone went into foster care, that kind of energy. So, you know, that, and there could also be this kind of energy of, there might be some people that are, there was like infidelity, and there could be children that are not part of the marriage that are out there, and that you find out, oh, I have a half sibling. That's the kind of energy. And we see that more and more these days because of the DNA, you know, access to DNA testing and like the home ancestry and stuff. So this is talking about your home and family and your emotional foundation. And it feels like you had a strong upbringing as far as that's concerned, like your father figure in any the masculine energy. Recognizing that these are archetypes, so this could be a female in their masculine energy, but I feel like this is actually representing the father role. And, you know, in families where there's no father, where the father is not part of the family, then the mother has to try to be both the masculine and the feminine role of raising the child, the maternal and the paternal. So I feel like there could be some sort of energy around that, but I feel like there was love, you know, and it was as stable as it could be as the energy I'm getting. And then this is about, you know, your creativity, and that's the energy I'm getting, like this overthinking. Sometimes what this represents, and we have this right here, but we have 3 cards here, and we have like a lot of emotion and water, right? And I feel like this energy here was kind of like there was this much water here before, and that's why this person felt trapped, like this much emotion around whatever this is. And now it's dried up. So like you notice, like the king has his right foot forward, meaning that he's ready to take a move forward when the time is right. And so does she. Like she already has one foot on dry land now. And this foot is actually just in a puddle. It's a very shallow puddle. And so this means that, you know, before it was like this, but now you've gone through a lot, you've done a lot of inner work on yourself, that you're really, what's left is very shallow, and it's kind of like there's maybe one sword left, and then you would feel like, okay, I'm free of this, like this overthinking, whatever happened, you know, that kind of energy. And also the binding here and the blindfold can represent someone who feels like they're duty bound, and maybe you don't feel like you're allowed to really see the full picture, because you don't really want to, like on some level, because you know it could bring up like a big rainstorm, and then you have to do more, you know, of this emotional work. And then we have this is representing your daily routine, your habits, and your health. So I feel like maybe you have, like, it could be the kind of energy where you've been deserted by your lover, they've walked away or whatever, and it is an energy of leaving you like with a big mess to clean up, and you've almost cleaned it up here now, but now this is coming in, and it's going to cause more work. It's going to cause, oh, now we got to like deal with that energy also. That's the kind of energy I'm picking up. And then we have the King of Wands for the external forces. So these internal forces, you do have control over these. Like you can, you know, meditate and pray more, and you'll find that your energy, despite whether or not this person is still in your life or not, you will be able to get through going inward and quit thinking so much. When sometimes when like we're asking a question and the question is logical and then we want a logical answer, what we get is another question because it's logic. And what we need to do is get an intuitive answer and then take steps of action on that logically, if that makes sense. So that you can, because you have to be logic in a 3D world to be able to get, you know, consistent steps of action towards your goal. Having said that, that's how people end up getting into a thinking loop and they just can't turn their mind off, is because they ask one question and then that leads to another question instead of an answer. That's the energy I'm picking up. And then we have the King of Wands representing the external forces. So the King of Wands is very, I feel like that represents the lover. And it could be this is like a soulmate twin flame relationship. And you know that I feel, because this is in your how you value yourself, your self-worth, that if this person left, it left you feeling really like in a bad spot. Like, now what? Now what do I do? Like, I've got this big mess to clean up. I don't have anyone I can rely on. And perhaps you really relied on this person because they were your soulmate. They were your twin flame. And you were like, you trusted them. And found out you couldn't trust them. And that's that kind of energy. Sometimes the King of Wands can be a bit of a player. And he's a visionary and he's charming and a lot of fun to be around and that kind of energy. But having said that, he can also be, you know, his visionary. He likes to play the field sometimes. And he's also the kind, he's hanging on, this is his wand. And he's very interested in his wand, and it's made of wood, and it's talking about the ancestors having deep roots and the descendants. So this is someone that you know, follows his passion, and so the energy here I feel is more lustful than on his side than like a deep loving relationship. This is more someone that likes to have more shallow relationships that are more fun for him. Like, it's that kind of energy, which is fine. I mean, but it's in this situation, I feel like it didn't work out very well, because if you were relying on this person and then you couldn't rely on them, then you're in this position like, now what do I do? Like, now I have to clean up this mess all by myself, and it's a real mess. And you know, and it's, your soul is crying out saying like, what happened here? And that's what the external forces are. It's, you can tell it's an external force when instead of saying, what if I do this? What if I do that? What if it causes this if I do this? It's like, no, there's no if in it. It's external. So it's more like what the EF happened. Like, an external force came in that you couldn't control. That's what happened. And it can be, you know, challenging. And yes, and then we have the Knight of Wands coming in. So the Knight of Wands is basically saying what I said here. So this energy is talking about, you know, that energy of like following the passion, running, like, you know, always liking action, adventure, new things, the mysteries of the world. And sometimes this energy in this is like, really this energy on the 17th of February, we have the Chinese New Year happening. And so the Chinese New Year is like on the 17th, as I said, and there's a new moon on that day as well. So it's really, we're already starting to feel that energy. I like it, like it's like, I want to do new stuff. I have a lot of passion, and we're moving from the year of the snake. So we need to shed everything that no longer belongs with us at this time. And so this is challenging, Virgo, but at the same time, it's an energy of clean it up before you know, the new year comes in. Like, if you've already failed in your resolutions for the new year, you have a second chance here. And so this energy is talking about the year of the fire horse. The fire horse energy is like very adventurous, It's free-spirited. There's a lot of energy that, like when it comes to career, of setting very high achievement goals and like really running with them, you know, and putting the energy into them. And then there's also, in the Department of Love, being very passionate. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to last that long, because this is the kind of energy of someone who wants to go off on the next adventure right away. And sometimes people think of lovers as adventures, you know, rather than as like a partner. That's the energy. So this fire horse energy, the danger about the fire horse energy is if you have someone that's already a fire sign, like Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, this energy can, it's too much fire. You know, it's too much flames. And you'll notice, like, and I just noticed this a few days ago, that, you know, in the face cards of the wands, there's these salamanders in a circle here and lions, and this represents protection from fire, because they're always going on adventures, and this is the element of fire, right? So the passion, think about, you know, wood feeding a fire. That's why it's a wood wand. And also it's a wand, if you understand what I mean. So it's passionate as well as passion. And the energy, what I noticed here is the King of Wands has that salamander and the lion thing happening behind him here. But I noticed, hey, that looks like a face. Like there's two eyes here, and then there's this nose with smoke kind of coming out of it, and smoking here. And where there's smoke, there's fire. And that's the kind of energy that like this is like smoking hot energy. Like somebody is like, you know, something's brewing, something's up. That's the energy. And you can even see by his body language, he's ready. The King of Wands is ready to move forward. He's a visionary. He waits to see, okay, when's a good opportunity to do this? I've been thinking about this for 3 years now, and I've got the opportunity, and rushing in. So the danger with this energy is being very impulsive and hot-headed. You see this red plume here? That represents someone that has a hot temper. But the rebel with a cause has learned to rein his emotions in. He's more mature now. And so but you see how much effort it is taking for him to hold this horse back. And the horse represents the emotions. And if you've ever been on a horse or seen it happen, where a horse gets the bit in its mouth, because the bit is what guides it, and it's the mouth of a horse is very tender, so you just need to slightly move that bit with your reins, and the horse knows, oh, you want me to go right, you want me to go left, you want me to slow down, you want me to canter, trot, whatever. But if they get it in their teeth and they grab that bit, you have zero control over that horse, and it could run very far, very fast. And this is the energy of saying the danger of going into this new year with the fiery horse energy is if you get the bit in your mouth and you go running in the wrong direction. I mean, if you're on foot, you're going to get tired and you're only going to go so far. But if you've got a horse that's running like that, it could be miles and miles off course, that kind of energy. And so impulsiveness is not a great thing to happen right then. And also controlling your temper. And so this energy, and I feel like this isn't so much, well, it could be partly the Virgo energy, but Virgo is usually very orderly, but this would drive a Virgo nuts, that kind of energy. It could be like, pick up after yourself, close the cupboard doors kind of energy. You know, the Virgo energy likes things like orderly and everything has its place, which is great because then everything's nice and organized, but sometimes it can get a little bit excessive is the energy. And so there's some regret, of course, here. This is what's coming up. It looks like there was infidelity here. We have 3 cups, and we have 2 of them were drinking wine and 1 was drinking something else kind of energy. So this can represent poison or whatever it is. And so it's representing there was a third party that interjected their energy into this relationship, maybe at the invitation of King of Wands energy and the rebel, and it's totally blown this apart. And now the Virgo energy is like saying, okay, now I got to deal with this. My rebel is off on another cause. That kind of energy. And so there's a lot of regret here. And the regret is like having, like, it's a very big challenge if you're looking in the mirror at your soulmate and or your twin flame, and they take off and they leave you with the mess, and you thought you could trust them. And then the other part of it is also your part in it. Like, oh my God, why did I trust this person? Like, you might even be a person that, like, Virgo is very analytical. And so you would have noticed signs of this, but you'd be like, oh, well, I can trust this person. I know I can. And then you find out, oh, I can't. And so your energy is like all the analytical critique you were doing didn't pay, it didn't work out in your favor. And then comes the anal criticism instead. And so this is sometimes, like, Virgos are very hard on themselves that way. And so it's kind of like needing to draw the line there and knowing that, analytical critique over your performance and the performance of others is a very good quality to have, because it can be very empowering. But when it turns to anal criticism, it can be really hard. So this person needs to, you could stand here for the rest of your life in regret over what's happened, or you turn around, notice the 2 cups. Hey, I still have 2 cups standing behind me. I'm going to walk down that path. I'm going to cross the bridge over troubled waters. I'm going to go to my castle. Yes, my castle's half full and half empty, like a glass. And I'm going to look at the bright side of what I have left here, and I'm going to appreciate it, and I'm going to move forward in my life. And that's the energy. And then it's going to take a lot of courage, because this is representing this young woman is reaching into this mature lion's mouth, which would be extremely dangerous. It's a male lion, but it has its tail tucked under like a dog, right? And it's showing it's being submissive. This represents, just like on here, the lions, having control over your fear. And so the energy I feel is like, this is what's happened, is this person is reaching into the lion's mouth, saying, I'm facing my fears and I'm going to conquer them, and I'm going to have the courage to do so. And as they do this, the more they do it, the more the potential comes from it of being able to move forward. So it's about having to face the situation, face what your role in it was, what the other person's role in it was, that kind of energy. This right here represents the house of your commitment and marriage. Like you really felt that this person was someone you could, like, that you were going to be with and you could trust. And then it ended. This is about transformation, death to situations, secrets, and shared resources. So whatever this person has done that they're running away from, you're going to have to deal with it. And it's going to affect everything for you, your resources, everything. Because they're gone. They're on a new adventure, and they left you like holding the bag kind of energy. And it might even be something you weren't even aware they were doing. Because it might have been another adventure that they were on, because apparently there was someone else in the relationship, and you weren't aware of that. So it's not that, it's going to require courage to get through this. And this is talking about the higher learning position. This is where okay, well, I guess I'm going to learn from it. That kind of energy. And then we have, this is talking about, okay, so this is good. This is the 10 of Pentacles is coming in now. If you do this, if you face it, it could work out in the end. There's money involved here. A lot of money. So you might not know about it, but he does. This person knows about it. He, she. Remember, these are archetypes. This could be a woman in her masculine energy. And this could be a woman in her masculine energy, right? So this could be male in his feminine energy. So just keeping that in mind. But this is talking about, okay, there's a lot of money involved. This is a legacy of wealth. This is some generational wealth. There's enough money here that you would be able to pass down to your children and your children's children, kind of energy. And that's why the ancestors are involved here. And it almost feels like that maybe was your money, Virgo, and then it was taken. That's the energy. Or you could be the Virgo that's taken it. It's however it presents for you. This is your internal forces, though, that I'm working with. And so this is what you have control over. And these are the external forces. So this is more like Sagittarius energy. And this is more like fire energy, that kind of energy. Whereas this is your internal forces. So this is externally, there was this money, perhaps that you didn't know that this person had, is what I'm getting. Maybe they're a trust fund baby and they didn't tell you. That's the kind of energy. Or they had some sort of income coming in from somewhere that you didn't know about. And that could be, you know, when I said this can represent going to prison kind of energy, it could have been something illegal, right? But they're living like a regular everyday lifestyle. They're presenting themselves as someone that wants to, you know, settle down, have a family, be, you know, in the, you know, like the all-American dream kind of energy. And you went along, like you believed them. And at your detriment, it's looking like. And then, yes, this is going to require, and isn't this interesting? Because again, this is talking about Sagittarius energy here. This rebel horse, and this is basically Sagittarius energy. This can be Leo too. Not so much Aries, because Aries is a little bit different energy than that. But I would say this Temperance is representing the Sagittarius energy as well. That's why I feel it's more Sagittarius energy, because you don't see any wands here. But this Temperance represents that energy, the Sagittarius energy. And Temperance is about being devoted to your path and using alchemy to stay on your path. And this is, again, you notice the foot in the water here and this one on land. It's opposite to here, to your energy. So it was supposed to, these two cups were supposed to pour into each other to empower you on this mission. And instead, it looks like this person poured into themselves and someone else, not you. And they were with you maybe because you had money. That could be the driving force of the reasons why they did what they did. So this is saying, like, you stayed devoted to your path, and now you're in a position where, you know, you have to deal with this energy coming in, but so will this energy have to deal with it. Like, yeah, and look at what comes out. So they were actually working with more than, like, this is talking about, this card, Three of Pentacles, represents that you have mastered your skill set and you're very good at what you do, and people are starting to recognize it and they want to collaborate with you. So your twin flame partner collaborated with dark forces here, or energies that were not in alignment with you. This quite often, because this is a stonemason and they've got plans for this stonemason, it's talking about, okay, here we go, this energy. So now if you know, because this is a twin thing, you know, you could be this energy or this energy. It's a mirror in the other person, so it's a back and forth energy. And so this is talking about, it's a good thing. People have recognized you're really good at what you do and they want to collaborate with you. But their goal for collaborating with you may not be in alignment with what your goals for what you're doing. And so that's why you have to be careful, because there's more there's more to the picture. There's an illusion here regarding this energy. And because on this picture they show a mason. a stonemason, secret society energy. That's the, like, hidden, that you didn't know. That's the energy coming up. So let's look at this some more here and just see what's going on. The thing is about the twin flame, what happens to one happens to the other. Like the one person's actions can affect the other in the same way. And even if you don't know about it, kind of energy. So this is yeah. We'll see. If you're enjoying this reading, please give it a like and comment. And I'm just tuning these cards. Sorry, I'm just tuning my energy into these cards here. My cat just left my lap and she just distracted me because I was making sure she didn't hit the camera, but she doesn't like this energy. She's like, I'm out of here. She was sound asleep, but now she's like, okay. So we're going to tune into this. So I'm using Tales from the Vector, my oracle. And I'm just waiting to see when some of the cards want to come out here. And we're going to clarify this. And so my oracle, I started in 2007, completed it in 2020. And there was 64 paintings. Oops, I'm an artist. So this is coming out. This is the card that wants to come out. And the card is on the Judgment, being on a foolhardy journey. So I feel like this is saying one of you was on a foolhardy journey, which is staying on your path, no matter what, doing your best to stay on your path. And the other one was like, bye. This is too much for me. Like that kind of energy. I'm out of here. And so you were like, okay, bye, I guess, kind of energy. But I'm just going to finish telling you about the oracle because I'm going to have in the description box below the numbers of the cards here. These numbers represent the paintings in my gallery on talesfromthevector.com. And that's TAILS. They say a picture paints 1,000 words, so my oracle is courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light, which is like dragons coming in from the future with advice, and dragonflies and crystals and all sorts of energy. So yeah, you can check it out if you want to after, and in the description box below I will have them in the order here. So foolhardy means that you're following your heart, what your destined path was. And so you can anticipate. The good news is you can anticipate. If you've been on a foolhardy journey and your twin flame has been on a foolish journey, then yes, you're going to have to deal with it. But having said that, you're going to have the tools that are needed, that you'll be provided for in some way. And it could be that this is what happened and this is what's happening now, kind of energy. So this could be like God has sent a soulmate to you now. And the soulmate is, soulmates don't have to be romantic partners, but the soulmate is going to empower you to heal from this. And I feel like it will be a replacement lover that will be better suited to you. Because what happened is you accomplished the goal. If you stuck with the journey, no matter what, you've accomplished the goal like that. And your partner hasn't. And so that's very sad for them, not for you. Like this is God saying, and the universe saying, thank you. We were watching. We could see how challenging this was, that kind of energy. And so this is the energy coming in on this right here, indifference. So this is a karmic space. We're all in it together, except we're not. See ya. That's the kind of energy. And the indifference is talking about pipe dreams, because on that painting, it's a jigsaw puzzle of a unicorn, and it's all a rainbow and it's all beautiful and lovely, but there's some pieces missing underneath, and underneath it's black and white homeless people because having a hard time. And so it's talking about you thought you were all in it together, but in actual fact there was a lot happening underneath the surface that you weren't told about. And so that's the energy. But the good news is you're going to be a superstar in 26. 26 is going to be very different from 2025. And the energy here is this. Think about in 2025, 2 plus 2 plus 5 is 9. So that was a 9 cycle year. And so it's come to an end. And it's basically a decade of energy coming to an end, a cycle coming to an end on New Year's Day. And then 2026 is a 10 year. So 1 plus 0 equals 1. That's a new beginning. So you're moving into a totally different energy from one year to the other. And it's like a decade of energy. Go back to think, what were you doing in 2015, 2016, like on the new year? And like, you know, that might help you remember what was going on for that 10 years. And it started probably up around 2015, 2016, so that you can kind of get some clarity here. And then this is father figures. So the person, your soulmate, could be a father. It doesn't have to be your father, but it could be they are a father. That's kind of energy. And then we have High Priestess. So the High Priestess, she sits next to God on the throne. And so she uses her intuition. And that's what this moon energy is talking about, to find the hidden illusions. You really can't logically put your finger on it. You have to, yeah, are you back now? Okay. All right. So we have that the High Priestess energy is talking about using your intuition as well as your logic to understand what's happening here and to get through this energy. There's disruption. So what's fun for some is not fun for everyone. That's absolutely for sure. So this caused a major disruption in your life. If you're dealing with someone else's mess and you don't even know what the mess is, but you're part of it because you were in a very tight relationship here, you thought, but it wasn't. It was tight on your part and loose on theirs. That's the energy. And so this is the Capricorn energy coming in. I want to make it really clear when I have signs coming in here from the zodiac. My intention is not to say, oh, it was a Capricorn that did this kind of energy. This is a general collective reading. I'm talking about the state of being of each sign. So how are they at their very best? And what is the special quality that we can learn from that energy? And also, what stage of life were they at? Were they at, like when the Aries energy, for instance, is talking about the newborn infant coming in. It's the very first sign. The Virgo energy is like a young adult, kind of at the age of, like, you have your papers, and you have your degree, you've been going to school, you've put the work in, you're top of your class, you're doing really well. People can see, hey, this person would be worth hiring. Like, this person is someone we should scout for, right? Whatever it is you're doing, you're being recognized. That's the good news. The bad news is that not everybody is going to be in alignment with what your path is. And if you sign up with people who are not in alignment with your path, it rarely works out well. And if that's your twin flame or your soulmate, it's going to have a major effect on you. So this Capricorn energy I already have explained, and we are on the 22nd of December, we moved into the Capricorn energy. So we're still in that energy, and it's kind of like a driving force behind the scenes kind of energy. And then we have the power of spin. So whatever is happening here, it's coming in fast. And there's judgment for sure. And this judgment is coming from God. God's not pleased with this situation. Like, what, wow, I send you someone that's perfect for you to get what you need done. Someone who actually cares about you. And this is how you treat them. This is and screw up the mission. And the only reason it wasn't screwed up is because they stayed on course. And now they have to clean up your mess? I don't think so. You're going to clean up your own mess. That's the energy I'm talking about. That the universe likes order just as much as Virgo does. So yeah, there we have it. Being on a foolish energy, And it's this fire horse energy. It's really like pushing a lot of people right now to get this done. That's why it's coming in fast. So you see, like it's talking exactly what I said. One of these lovers was on a foolish journey, and the other one was on a foolhardy journey. And then we have the Taurus energy coming in. And so the Taurus energy is, you know, the toddler. So this can be talking about here being very stubborn, and this is also ruled by Venus, and this is your partnerships and marriage and commitment. So this is someone hasn't learned, they're like a toddler, they haven't learned how to give and take. They'll take, and they don't share. That's the kind of energy. Then if they don't get their way, they have a temper tantrum and run off or do whatever, but they don't deal with it because they're behaving like a toddler. That's the kind of energy. And then the star energy is talking about, you know, again, like staying. Like the star energy is when you're born to shine and you're following your God-given mission, or you know, like to be the best version you can be, to uplift humanity and uplift the planet and uplift the universe. And this is talking about, you know. Really trampling on someone, really got trampled here. Like the regret. And this could be regret from both sides at this point, because now some people sometimes are in regret though because they got caught, and other people are in regret because they really feel like bad about what happened. That's kind of energy. So, you know, whatever that is going on. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune. And I feel like, there is 2 cards here. So the Wheel of Fortune, this is about, you know, live and learn kind of energy. But the wheel is turning now because you've had the courage to face, or the other person has had the courage to face whatever. I can't tell anymore here in this energy because it's mirroring back and forth so much. And remember, when I'm talking about these energies of, even your energy of being in Virgo, I'm not talking about the energy of that. It's like, oh, it's all the Virgo's fault, or it's all the other person's fault. That's not the idea. It's, you know, understanding Virgo is kind of like cleanliness next to godliness. Put everything in order, everything in its place, and then things go well. It's like, because the Virgo energy, although it is the pentacle energy, and it's about the material world, it's also very much like liking things like mentally to be in order. And so when things get out of order, then that energy is like, oh, like I need to clean up kind of energy. I can't, like, I don't like this energy. And again, and I've already explained that, but just there's no point at this point here in like, this isn't about, the judgment isn't about blaming. The judgment is that karma is going to hit like really hard here, really hard. And karma isn't punishment. The judgment isn't punishment. It's just that, okay, time is up. And now the cause and effect of your actions for each of these people are going to show up, and that's how, you know, that's how it's going to be. And so whatever the energy of the actions that you took, are either you're going to be on the side of, okay, now you're going to have that lifestyle and you're going to have that, or it's going to be taken away. That's the kind of energy. It's not to do with like a judgment of, oh, this is a bad person or this is a good person. It's not about that. It's about the judgment of your actions from the universe. And the universe is like cause and effect. And eventually everything that we do has to be brought back into balance. That's what karma is. A lot of people think it's punishment. Like someone's sitting there like, oh, you know, check mark, oh, they did this wrong. No, it's more like, you know yourself, if you get, like that horse gets running and you go down the wrong path and you stay there and you don't get off that horse and get up and start to walk back. You just decide, okay, I'm here now. I'm going to go do this now. That's the kind of energy. It's life. It's challenging. So this is about pride, yeah. So this is in the position of you know, this is career, reputation, your public image, and then, you know, of course, having like, having the desired lifestyle, the all-American dream. And then this is about your friends and your, you know, the blessings and like being on your path and being a human being, basically. And it's kind of like the soul's needs when it comes to that twin flame journey are very different from the needs of like the physical world, and a lot of times that's why it's so challenging. And so you could be proud that you stayed on your soul journey and kept your soul happy, but you didn't manage to acquire what you should have in this journey. And that's when God steps in and says, okay, here, you're getting the reward, and the person that went off course is going to have to deal with that. That's just the way it is. It's justice. And that's saying it right there. Redemption from karma. And really, that's what we're here for. So Virgo, like, don't, you know, just chill out, breathe, and recognize, like, this is whatever. Things are falling back into place just like you like. You know, the organization is happening. So on either side of this, whatever has happened, that you're able to get back to some sort of peace of mind over the whole thing. That's the point. So I do hope you've liked, I really found this to be like one of the best examples of explaining like that twin flame, soulmate, and also karma. Like, it's not, like, get over the fact that it's punishment, and start recognizing it's because of our actions, like, and the cause and effect of that. Everything we do has a ripple effect on the rest of that's why when I say you're not an insignificant dot, you really aren't. Your actions cause ripples in the universe, you know. So, and everybody's feeling it. And a lot of people on the planet are feeling this. This is happening. You can see this happening in the news every day right now. Really wild stuff about justice coming out right now. So do like and comment if you've enjoyed this, and consider subscribing if you resonate with this energy of the channel. And I will be back with another reading for you regarding the beginning of February. Bye for now.